Hi, I'm Regina Larson.
And my name is Katherine Mazaroski.
And I'm president of the Carl Place Unit 1718 Ladies Auxiliary.
And we are conducting our Members Remember interview. So for my first question, why did you want to join the American Legion Auxiliary?
I think because as Americans, there's nothing that we can't do for our veterans, and so I wanted to get involved. My one brother was a Marine and my other brother was in the Navy, and both came home safe from Vietnam, so I feel like this is my way to say thank you.
And my second question is, what inspired you to run for president of the auxiliary?
I wanted to see our auxiliary move forward and become stronger, so I decided to run, and in the past 3 years that I've been president, I've seen people grow, and it's like so rewarding. In the beginning, our unit was moving very slowly forward, and not many people were involved. And now everyone's jumped in and taken on different projects, and it's really growing, so I love it.
Did you have any leadership experience prior to the American Legion Auxiliary?
I did. Almost my whole career, I was in some type of management, career. So I've dealt with a lot of teams, a lot of people, so I've learned a lot over the years. I think why I accepted the position as president, although I was new to the auxiliary, I had only been chaplain for a year or so. I think why I accepted is because I wanted our auxiliary to move forward. And many of our members were elderly, and as you get older, it's harder and harder to get involved in projects and everything. I wanted to grow the auxiliary and get in new members. So that's pretty much what we did in the last 3 years. You developed the junior auxiliary. We've got new members, and I think what I like the most about it is because I see the people blossoming. When they join, they're hesitant to do anything. They're not sure what they can do. A lot of the people haven't worked in a number of years, so to take on a responsibility such as doing special projects, they were a little fearful about starting, but it's so rewarding to be able to see people take a project on, work through it, develop a team with our auxiliary members, and then run through the project and see how the outcome is, and it usually turns out really great. So that's been my happiest, I think, and most fulfilling part of being part of the president. I feel like I'm the band leader, and everybody else just takes over and runs the show for me. But I have a great group of women, and every day somebody else stands out and takes on another project. So all good, all good. Do I have advice? I'm thinking about what advice would I give to the next person who takes over for me? Don't be afraid. Throw out your ideas. Have lots of discussions, because maybe better ideas will come up. Go to as many meetings, county meetings, department meetings. Go to as many conferences as you can. Learn as much as you can. And expose yourself to all different people and keep growing. But I think it's a wonderful experience. And I mean, how could it be bad? We're working towards our doing good for the veterans. So anything we do, I think it's a positive, a win-win.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Hello, my name is Katherine Mazaroski.
I'm Suzanne Niedziela.
And to start off today's interview, so why did you join the American Legion Auxiliary?
Well, to be honest with you, my neighbor forced me into it, but I'm very grateful that I did.
So, being a part of the American Legion Auxiliary, what were some projects that you worked on?
Well, we do the troupons, which means we clip coupons and we ship them to the troops. And so far in 5 years, we've done probably about $400,000 worth of coupons.
Wow. Were there any other sort of projects that you worked on?
I worked on the baskets for the bingo luncheon, which is a fundraiser that we do twice a year.
And where do the funds for that fundraiser go to?
Tunnels for Towers, Paws of War.
And are there any sort of locations that you often donate to, being a part of the auxiliary?
We do donate to the East Meadow Food Pantry for the veterans.
And how long have you been a part of the American Legion Auxiliary?
It's either 10 or 11 years now.
Wow. So do you enjoy being a part of it?
I love it. I love getting involved with the community, especially since it involves the troops and our veterans.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
I am Katherine Mazaroski, and this is
Pat Sianka Schaefer.
So, to begin, why did you join the American Legion Auxiliary?
My dad was a World War II vet. He fought, he was in the Navy. He was 15 and a half when he ran away from home and joined the Navy. He doctored up his baptismal certificate. And he didn't realize when he joined, they had just started shipping people out as soon as they joined, whereas his brother, who was drafted into the Army, he had time to go home, get his affairs in order, and then a couple of months, he started boot camp. And my father didn't have that opportunity. He went, they signed him up, they put him on a ship, and now he's out in the Pacific, because he wouldn't fight for his cousins in Italy. So he said, I'll fight by Japan and all. He says that's where so they said fine, and that's where they sent him. But he was sick as a dog, and he told us so many stories, and thank God he made it home. He was okay, although he got hit. He hit his head when they got there. They did have some damage in one of the skirmishes, because he's on the USS O'Bannon, which is the most highly decorated ship in the Navy, still to this day. But anyway, he met up. He wanted to, just do it in the Pacific. So they put him right on a ship and they sent him to the Pacific. And he was so sick, and he said he kept crying. But I'm only 15, and they said, too bad, you're here. So anyway, that's why I joined, because he told us all about it, and it was a horrible thing, and we have to take care of our veterans.
And being a part of the American Legion Auxiliary, were there any specific projects that you did?
Yeah, I worked on the project of the poppies. In May we have the Memorial Day Parade, and we sell poppies to raise money. And then in the fall we do the poppies for Veterans Day and for, whenever it's a Cherry Lane. I'm sorry. Oh, the project for Cherry Lane. Oh, sorry. Okay, I stopped.
Okay, we can just
edit it. Okay.
Exactly.
Thank you. Okay. I worked with Maureen O'Donofrio, putting books in Cherry Lane School, and for explaining what poppies are, because so many little kids, they wanted a poppy when they saw them, but they didn't know what they meant. So we decided they do something at Rushmore level, which is 3 to 6th grade. So we would start and do it at the kindergarten, 2nd grade. So it was very successful, and we had 3 winners, and the kids loved it, and we thought we'll do it again next year.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello, I am Katherine Mazaroski.
I'm Maureen O'Donofrio.
And to begin, let's discuss what made you eligible and want to join the American Legion Auxiliary.
So my father was 17 during World War II, and he wanted to join in the worst way, but of course he had to wait till he was 18 because my grandmother wouldn't have it. And he went into the war, and he kind of met my mother around that time because she lived downtown. And he said, will you write to me while I'm away? So recently, he died a few years ago, and now my mom died. And going through, I found all the letters that were between them during the wartime. But it was, I can't imagine anyone, I'm sure there were many men who did it in the Army, the Navy, the Marines, so many men that were in this town. But me thinking now, someone doing that at 18, I can't imagine. But so she joined when she came to Carl Place. She was a relative newcomer to Carl Place. She only came here 20 years ago. We were here, and my family moved here, my children and my husband and I, when they were young and went to school here. But my parents were settled in Brooklyn and didn't really want to leave. But as they got older and they needed more help, they moved here. So I learned a lot of this after she died, after she and my father died. But she had been in the American Legion, and she was very dedicated to it. She felt connection to it because of the wars and what she remembered from both wars, I guess. No, she was born after World War I, but I guess hearing the tales from her father. And then my father, she was very committed to helping servicemen wherever they were. So that's how I ended up in it myself, following her example. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Being a part of the American Legion Auxiliary, were there any specific projects that you did or activities that you especially liked?
Well, I haven't been in it too long, but one that I can think of that meant a lot to me was taking the, I began to volunteer to sit at the tables to offer the poppies on Memorial Day and on, I guess, Veterans Day. We did it too, I don't remember. And then it occurred to me when the children would come to the table to look at the flowers, because they looked interesting, that most of the little children didn't know what they were. And I thought, how is it they don't know this? Like, I knew it from my family. It was certainly taught in school when I went to school, but these kids didn't know what this was. So with Regina's help and Pat Schaefer's help, we ran a project in Cherry Lane last year to, we wrote lesson plans for, thank goodness, the art department in the high school. They decided to, the chairman decided to, Mr. Limon decided to spearhead it. And it ran in Cherry Lane. So the second graders got, we provided books for them so that they would know what it was. There are books out on what is a poppy. And they produced art projects following the teacher's lead. And it was amazing because we judged it and gave them prizes for a second and third prize. But you could see that every child that submitted, and it was the whole school, the whole second grade that submitted, so it was about 100 or so. But every one of them got the point, because in it were pictures of the field, different things in different children's, but servicemen, the poppy, so the flag, so there was some connection to it. And then in May, when we had the poppies again, we did it outside of church. There was a little family going in, and one little kid kept looking back, and she came up to the table, and I said to her, and Pat Schaefer actually asked her, what grade are you in? And she said, second grade in Cherry Lane. And I said, you know what these are? And she said, yes, we learned about them in school. So I was kind of glad that somebody was following and listening to whatever was being taught. So that was a nice thing, because in order to pass that on, there has to be an effort to pass on to the next generations. Once the older generations are gone, what it meant, what the service meant to the country. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My name is Katherine Mazaroski.
My name is Maryann Piscitelli.
And to begin, can you please explain what prompted you to join the American Legion Auxiliary?
Well, it was my husband, Al, and he joined before I did. And our neighbors talked us into it. We had neighbors right behind us. And they talked us into it. And after Al was in it and he became commander, and my children got a little older, I was able to get out at night. And that's when I joined. And I've been enjoying it ever since, till I got this arthritis now and I can't do anything anymore. So, but we had good times. We used to take the veterans from the Northport Hospital. I think once a year we cooked for them and we gave them a meal. We got clothes for them. We used to, everybody donated their old clothes, with some new clothes, I guess, too. And we gave them cigarettes, because at that time they were able to smoke. So we gave them cigarettes, and we had a good time with them, with the men from Northport. And let's see what else we were doing. I was involved with, I was a membership officer. I also was the secretary. I did the poppies. We stood outside and did poppies. So we had a lot of good times at the post. And they always had some kind of dances going on. And well, you know, this veteran sacrificed for us, so to let us be free. So that's all the things I think we should have been doing. I don't know what they're doing now. I'm not sure, but because I can't get to the meetings anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to, but I just can't.
And how long have you been in the American Legion Auxiliary?
35 years. Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's a long time. Yeah, but I enjoyed every minute of it. Whatever I could do for the veterans, it was very happy times, very good times. Yeah.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Katherine Mazaroski.
And I'm in Mandoro.
So, to start our interview, let's discuss what made you join the American Legion Auxiliary.
Well, my husband, of course, was a member, he was a member of the Legion, but he also served in World War II. But the reason I didn't join at that time, didn't think much about it, until my husband passed, and a group of my friends had belonged, and they said to me, "Why don't you join?" I said, "All right, why not?" So that's when I joined in September of 1999. I joined the auxiliary. So I've been there a few years, to say the least. Yes, yes.
And being a part of the American Legion Auxiliary, what was your role?
Oh, I had quite a few. Well, I was vice president for a while. I was president. At the present time, I don't know whether you call it a title or whatever, but I take care of the Veterans Food Pantry in East Meadow in the medical center.
And was there any special project that you did while you were president of the auxiliary that you were especially proud of?
Well, yes, I said, getting back to the food pantry. The food pantry at the medical center, I'll still call it Meadowbrook Hospital, started in April of 2015. And it was just starting. It was one little room. And I had read an article about that. And I don't just get involved in something. I have to investigate first to see and make sure it's legit and everything else. And it was very nice. I could see they were starting things, trying to help veterans and things like that. So come September, when our unit started up again, I brought this up to the members and asking them if they would be interested in sponsoring and supporting the veterans at their food pantry, and everybody seemed to be in agreement. So at first, we brought in things and I brought them there with some of the ladies. We delivered them. And our unit was not very wealthy. We didn't have much money at all, but they did subsidize us a little bit. And then I started calling, and they would tell me what they needed each month, and that's what we would shop for. And I said, we did it for many years, and then it stopped a little bit. And then this year I kind of talked it up again, and the unit was in agreement, and that's what I'm doing right now. You know, that we are still supporting the veterans over at the medical center. And it started with one little tiny room, and they had little boxes with little foods in it that the veterans could come to. They're now up to 3 rooms, and it's well organized. They have a freezer, they have refrigerators, they have so many things going on. And in fact, there's 2 new girls that I've just met that are running it. And before that, the girl that was in charge said, I think we're going to have to move into the supermarket because we're getting so big. And they help 1,000 families a month, giving them food and things like that. And there's about, I think, no, I'm not positive of the number, maybe about 600 veterans that come in, single people, besides the 1,000 families that we are still helping support. There are other units and big companies that are supporting them also. But this, I feel, it's in our backyard, and I keep saying that, our backyard. And I feel it's a very wonderful thing that we're doing. And that's one of my favorites. That's one of my favorite things, yes.
Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Perfect. There we go. To begin, let's introduce ourselves. My name is Katherine Mazaroski.
Oh, and I'm Dorothy Barnych.
And to begin, I'd like to ask you, so what makes you eligible to join the American Legion Auxiliary?
I'm sorry, what, darling?
What makes you eligible?
Oh, eligible. Well, my husband was a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
Was able to join because of him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was in the Navy for 4 years.
So being a part of the American Legion Auxiliary at Carl Place, what are some activities, or what was it like being in it for so long?
Great, I loved it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a part of me, and even my children helped me a lot. And I loved it. And at that time, I got a lot of help from the girls. And we tried to do as much as we could for the men and women of the, women veterans.
What were some of the experiences or activities that you did?
Well, we helped them in Northport. We used to help them there. And then we helped them at Christmas time. We shopped for them, for their children and their wives or their husbands. And that was a big project for us, for buying the gifts.
Mm-hmm.
And then also donating food, donating, not food, donating the money or something that they needed. And that was it. Yeah.
So how many years have you been in the American Legion Auxiliary?
In the American Legion?
Yes.
65 years.
And was there any changes that you saw from when you first joined to now?
Well, it's hard for me because I haven't gone for so many years.
Mm-hmm.
So I get my information hearsay, from some of the women that belong to the auxiliary. And now I hear, when I did, at the beginning, got a lot of help from the women there, and now I hear the same thing. So that's a good thing,
Mm-hmm.
good change. And that's it.
Thank you. Perfect. Thank you so
That's
much.
it? Oh,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to add anything else?
Yeah, is there
Do you
anything
want to
else?
tell us anything else?
I'm trying to think what else.
Like what positions did you hold in the
Yeah,
auxiliary?
leadership
I was president, and then I was chaplain.
Mm-hmm.
I loved being chaplain. I loved that too. That was a nice experience.
Mm-hmm.
And just belonging to the auxiliary. It means a lot to us.
I know,
And
right?
like I said, the auxiliary means a lot to me.
Mm-hmm.
To me and my husband.
As an American, right?
Yeah.
We should be doing all we can do.
Right? Help the men and women.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here. They fought for our country,
Mm-hmm.
Got it?
Yep. So,
Yes.